FBI Director James Comey up on Capitol Hill to testify about the Hillary Clinton investigation and the probe into Russia. Tonight, we'll tell you if there were any bombshells. Then, our legal panel's here to look at the spate of police-involved shootings and whether there's been a change in the way police police their own and are prosecuted. Also, you get caught drunk driving, you get a breathalyzer test. If you get caught texting, well, you might have to face a textalyzer. We'll explain what it is and why privacy advocates aren't doing cartwheels. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to RFL. I'm Richard French. Thank you for joining us this Wednesday evening. Well, it was a busy day on Capitol Hill. In a minute, we'll take a look at the latest Republican efforts when it comes to health care. But first, FBI Director James Comey testified before the Senate Judiciary Committee today, and he defended his decision to reopen the investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails just days before Election Day. FBI Director James Comey speaking candidly about what he calls one of the most painful decisions he's ever had to make.
I stared at Speak and Conceal. Speak would be really bad. There's an election in 11 days. Lordy, that would be really bad. Concealing, in my view, would be catastrophic.
The director says his team discovered thousands of new Clinton emails and ultimately decided to tell Congress that they'd be reopening the investigation, and he says in hindsight, he'd make the same decision.
Look, this was terrible. It makes me mildly nauseous to think that we might have had some impact on the election, but honestly, it wouldn't change the decision.
President Trump tweeted Tuesday that FBI Director Comey was the best thing that ever happened to Hillary Clinton and that he gave her a free pass for many bad deeds. Democrats, they pressed Comey on why the FBI was silent about the still ongoing investigation into the Trump campaign and Russian interferences while they were so vocal about Clinton. Comey says the investigations were treated the same.
Both investigations were open, but you still only commented on one.
With respect to the Russia investigation, we treated it like we did with the Clinton investigation. We didn't say a word about it until months into it, and then the only thing we've confirmed so far about this is same thing with the Clinton investigation, that we are investigating. And I would expect we're not going to say another peep about it until we're done.
So by and large, the takeaway from today is Comey may be flawed in terms of some of the decisions he made, but the intent was in the right place. You can certainly see by the last 24, 48 hours between both Hillary Clinton's first really large public comments on this and also what we heard on the Hill today, a lot of people not sure it didn't have a major impact in the election. Also, people aren't sure that there weren't two different standards applied. Nonetheless, they have confidence in Comey, and that goes across both aisles. However, there are a lot of Democrats still not satisfied with the situation. Take, for one, a frequent guest of this program, Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal.
The only way to make sure and to assure public confidence and trust is for an independent special prosecutor, not a Trump appointee, to be in charge of that investigation and make the ultimate decision. Because if it is Director Comey or the Deputy Attorney General, who's an appointee of the President, the public can in no way be assured that there is complete objectivity and independence.
Of course, Senator Blumenthal referring to the Russia probe that's ongoing that the FBI is leading. Now, Republican leaders, they're tweaking their health care bill, which is the other big item on the Hill today. That as they try to turn more no votes into yes, and they've succeeded in at least getting a couple of big ones to switch their minds. But a vote still has not been scheduled, which likely means they still don't have the votes. Republicans rushing to wrangle up votes for health care reform, hoping to check repealing and replacing Obamacare off their legislative to-do lists before an 11-day congressional recess. House GOP Whip Steve Scalise giving a thumbs up. Republicans may finally have the votes they need by a razor-thin margin. Two high-profile moderate Republicans switched from nays to yays.
We're here announcing that with this addition that we brought to the president and sold him on in over an hour meeting in here with him, that we're both yeses on the bill.
Michigan Congressman Fred Upton credited with sealing the deal on the amendment to help people with pre-existing conditions. It would allocate $8 billion of federal funds over 5 years to subsidize high-risk pools in states where governors get a waiver for Obamacare rules. This allows insurers to discriminate against people with pre-existing conditions and charge them more.
What this amendment would do is provide additional funds directly into the high-risk pools to be spent for people that might otherwise lose their coverage because of a waiver that a governor would seek.
But Democrats pounced on the amendment. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer tweeting, "It's like trying to cure stage 4 cancer with cough medicine."
It's a joke. It's a very sad, deadly joke.
There's a lot of open questions as this is changing on the fly, how much of the pre-existing conditions will really be covered going forward. And we are keeping an eye on how local leaders are leaning with their votes. All Democrats are firm no's on this, and so are certain Republicans. Staten Island's Dan Donovan and New Jersey's Leonard Lance, Frank Lobiondo and Chris Smith, they're in the no column. The Hudson Valley's John Faso is undecided still at this late hour, and New Jersey's Rodney Frelinghuysen has yet to take a public position, and we tried to get that this afternoon, but he's still on that undecided line. Long Island's Peter King tells us he's also undecided, though leaning to yes. Now, coming up next, the Justice Department just announced it will not press charges against the police involved in this fatal shooting in Baton Rouge. This, the first test case of the Sessions Justice Department. Is this a sign of things to come?